The limitless number of US dollars that can be created, and that gives to the United States the capacity to exploit the rest of the world to its own advantage, to be able to establish itself and maintain itself as the preeminent power in the whole world. Pax Americana never had a better day than on that day when the petrodollar was born. De Gaulle would have denounced it. De Gaulle would have struggled against it. De Gaulle would have been struggling to try to recover monetary independence for France and monetary justice for France in particular, and of course for the rest of the world. Because of this absolute insistence on a free and a fair market, that the Lord God has ordered that the hand of the thief must be cut off. If we were to cut off the hands of thieves today, you would have very few bankers in the world left today, because the banking system is legalized theft. The money lender doesn't only lend money in order to make himself rich at your expense. The money lender also lends money sometimes in order to maintain control over you and to eventually enslave you. And ruling the world and forcing the submission of all of mankind to their diktat, and that of course includes Greece. That also includes China, it includes Russia. That all must bend and submit. Why are they doing this? The answer, of course, is located in eschatology. That they want to rule the world so that they could hand over that rule of the world to the state of Israel, so that Pax Judaica might replace Pax Americana. The economy. People, if they are free from want, they are living a happy life, they have enough food to eat, they have shelter, they have clothing, they're not in debt, then people can have the freedom to be able to resist the oppressor. But if they don't have that freedom, they don't have food, they don't have clothing, they don't have shelter, they are in debt, they are independents like the people of Greece. You can then impose your will upon them. You can force their submission, as the European Union has forced the submission of the Greek government which just resigned. The answer is, de Gaulle would have said, you must preserve your economic independence. They didn't have slavery, they had a different form of slavery. The enslavement of the masses through usury. The Quran has prohibited usury. It was also in the Bible, but someone rewrote the Bible to say that it is prohibited for an Israelite to lend money on interest to another Israelite. Don't do that. Don't rip off your own brother. But the new version of the Word of God, written by human hands, is that it is permissible for you to lend money on interest to those who are not Israelites. No. That's false. And the Quran denounces it as false. This permission given in the Bible to lend money and interest to those who are not Israelites. Don't rip off your own brother, but you can rip off others. No, that's double standard. The Zionist who rules the world today would be very angry with you, because he does not want to have people who are independent of debts, who don't have debts, who are therefore free. And so my answer is to stay out of debt. And most of all, stay out of usury or riba. Can you comment on France's absolutely irresponsible foreign policy? It is not haphazard. The foreign policy of France is no different from the foreign policy of the United States of America, no different from the foreign policy of Britain and of Germany and of Canada and of Australia. Kufru millatun wahida. The world of oppression is all united. The oppressors are all united. They may offer a slightly different face over here and a slightly different face over there, but that's only to throw dust in your eyes. When they sit down together, they're all bloodsuckers, all of them. And the foreign policy is one which is formulated in order to establish and maintain their rule over the world by the hook or by the crook and resist oppression. And a Russia which is leading the way in bringing others to join with it, in offering to mankind an alternative to the oppressive monetary system, for example, which we have in the petrodollar monetary system. Russia is the leader of BRICS. And Russia has China with it. And the Chinese-Russian alliance is growing day by day. Can't hide it anymore. India is a big country, an important country. South Africa is big and important. Brazil is big and important. But none of these are heavyweights compared to China and Russia. And so BRICS is certainly an eloquent and a powerful response to the reckless foreign policy of France, of Germany, of the United States, and all the rest. And it is going to lead to war. It is going to lead to nuclear war. The bandits who now rule the world, they don't care. Even if most of mankind were to be killed, they don't care. They have to force the submission of Russia and China to them. And Russia and China are not afraid of them. Russia and China are not going to bend their knees. No. So it doesn't matter whether you agree with Imran, Hosein, or you don't. That's irrelevant. Nuclear war is coming. And nuclear war is coming because the bandits who now rule the world... The Jewish religion must be respected. Do not speak disrespectfully about Judaism. No. There is no question about being disrespectful to Jews. No. It is when someone acts in an oppressive way, someone acts as an advocate of falsehood and is attacking the truth. Only then do you respond. If most of the Jews in the world today, unfortunately, are supporters of the oppressive state of Israel, then it becomes necessary for us to denounce it. But that does not mean that we are denouncing Judaism. No. That does not mean that we are being critical of Jews because of their beliefs in Judaism. Not at all. What it does mean is that we are denouncing people who are acting oppressively. I would like to go beyond that to say that they are hijacking Judaism. That the Jewish religion is denouncing injustice and lies. And anyone who does that is standing up for the truth. These are men of integrity. That's what Charles de Gaulle did when he stood up in the national French who want to rule the world. Need to organize mankind into blocks, big blocks. And that would facilitate the effort of ruling the masses. And that's why you had the European Union, the European Community. The one thing in the world they don't want is decentralization. They don't want the world to be returning to small groups all over the world, because it's impossible to rule the world that way. And so the emergence of the European Union forms part of the master plan through which they can rule the world. The process of creating the European Union is one in which political union was not the major goal. The major goal was economic union, and within economic union, the major goal was monetary union. And in monetary union, it was the birth of the euro. The euro was created to enslave Europe. The euro was created so that the banker can enslave the whole of Europe. It is too late now for Greece to understand. Bankers can enslave Europe. And if we are to respond to this economic slavery, the enslavement of the masses, I think it is necessary for us to educate the people as to what is money, what constitutes money, what is money with integrity, and try to explain to them the need to get out of the euro, get out of the monetary form. Of course, absolutely correct. A monetary system based on bogus and fraudulent and utterly haram or illegal paper, plastic, and electronic money can only corrupt and destroy a free and a fair market. Our goal must always be to seek to restore and preserve a free and a fair market. If we allow this monetary system to continue, then what happens is that money will be siphoned off from the masses to a predatory blood-sucking elite who will grow richer and richer, and the masses will grow poorer and poorer. This happens particularly when money is destitute, it leads to violence. When they seek to take by force what they need to survive. So violent crimes will escalate. And as violence escalates, the society begins to destabilize and to unravel. This is precisely what the bandits want. They want the world to be a world without peace. They want to be a world of chaos and anarchy, so that would facilitate the effort to rule the world. 8. Riba or usury was forbidden to the Jews in the Torah, as it is forbidden in the Gospel and in the Quran. However, it is massively practiced today. You mentioned in one of your last videos, an international official institution believed to be respectable in their authority and that are in fact hiding a snake. Can you develop on this? The International Monetary Fund, which emerged out of the Bretton Woods Accord, is a money lender. Don't let the pretty language fool you. When Shakespeare wrote Merchant of Venice, and he identified Shylock the Jew as the money lender. In Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare was eloquent in his denunciation of the usurious economy. This is what we need today to respond to the usurious economy today and the monetary system today, as eloquently as Shakespeare did it in The Merchant of Venice. I use the word the head of the snake for the money lender who lends you money in order to paralyze you, in order to enslave you. You better be able to recognize the head of the snake and take a stick and beat that snake until you kill that snake. And that's what you do when you get out of the usurious economy and you free yourself from debts. Question number 9. The principle of trade lies in mutual profit, which is equivalent to mutualism in biology. whereas usury always leads to the enrichment of the one at the expense of the other, which is equivalent to parasitism in biology. This is well written. I commend this writing. Can we say that the holy books do in any way describe an organic mode of functioning of human society so that it benefits from a healthy economic life? Yes, indeed. Allah has spoken in the Quran, and He has commanded us, don't consume each other's wealth unjustly. Rather, that business should be contracted in a manner which is mutual satisfaction. Mutual satisfaction. That I have a garage and you have a car, and you come to my garage with your car, I repair the car for you, and you pay me for my services, and the fee which I charge is one which is reasonable. I benefit from the transaction because I get an income. You benefit from the transaction because your car is repaired. I am happy and you are happy. That is business. This way of doing business engenders trust. And when once you've come to my garage and you've had your car repaired and you are satisfied with the business transaction, you would always want to come back to my shop, to my garage. When you can trust me in business, you will trust me in other things as well. That's what business does. It engenders trust. But then there's another kind of business. They call it business, but it is not business. Interest. You no longer have mutual satisfaction. No. When he lends on interest, his gain will be my loss. And you see wealth being siphoned off from the rest of the world to the money lending world. The banks and those who own the banking institutions are growing richer and richer and richer and richer as wealth leaves the rest of the world and comes to them. This is not business. This is not trade. This is going to destroy the economy and destroy human happiness. The Quran is correct when the Quran prohibits money being lent on interest and also prohibits rip-offs. That justice must prevail in the market, and therefore you have to use money which is money with integrity, which is gold and silver coins, and not to take paper and make money, and make money out of thin air. That's false. He wants to do so on behalf of the State of Israel, so that Pax Judaica might replace Pax Americana. It were possible for us to restore a free and a fair market. Then we could have hope for restoring a just economic system. A free and a fair market is incompatible with a fraudulent monetary system. What we are seeing now is the emergence of BRICS to challenge the bogus monetary system. The bandits who have given us the bogus monetary system are not prepared to accept defeat, and therefore they are preparing themselves to wage war on Russia and China, and that's the nuclear war that is coming. What is the world going to be like after that nuclear war? I don't know. What I do know is that it's going to be a much smaller world. That the two major powers, the Russian-Chinese alliance and NATO, are going to mutually self-destruct, the mutual destruction. And what is left of the world after that will be a world that the Zionists will find much more easy to control.